Welcome back, everyone. You know, the used car market is booming right now, but we all know the age-old rule. As soon as you drive your car off the lot, it depreciates in value. So what can you do to hang on to some of that value if you want to sell your car? I'm here, of course, with Stephanie Henry, our car expert. She's got all the answers, and I'd love to know this. Have you ever sold your own car, Steph?
Oh, that's a really good question. If you mean by selling my car, I sold it to the insurance company and gave them a heap of metal and glass. And yes, I have. Do not recommend 0% at fault, mind you. But I wasn't on the topic of buying. That's my first tip when it comes to really keeping a lot of that value in your vehicle, is that when you're buying a new vehicle, you should be thinking about if you're able to sell it. That resale value when it's time to, hand it off to the next person. That's what you should be thinking about when you're purchasing a new car. So some ways that you'll know if that's the case: is your vehicle really popular amongst consumers? Whatever car you're thinking about right now, that's the one. Is it easy to maintain, and how much money does it cost to actually invest in maintaining the vehicle as well? If all of those are ducks in a row, then you're in good standing.
All right, Steph, should we be trading it in or trying to sell it on our own? Like, what would be the better option?
Yeah, that's a really good question that a lot of people play with when they're thinking about selling their vehicle. And I would say first of all, you have to figure out if your vehicle is actually valuable. Is it a big old rust bucket, or is it worth trading in or selling on your own? So I would go to Canada Black Book or Kelly Blue Book, put in all the information of your vehicle and see just how much you can actually get for it. Take that number, put it in your back pocket, go to the dealership, and then also see, what they're offering you for that vehicle. If the numbers are close or aligned, same, then I would go with trading it in because it's just the easier option, especially if you need another vehicle. Otherwise, if you're getting a really bad number, I would sell it on your own.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know those two books existed. So,
well, there you go.
Right. I want to talk a little bit about maintenance appointments, because apparently you say we're supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, they're not a suggestion.
No.
They're not a suggestion. Maintenance appointments are so incredibly important, especially if you want to add or retain value to your vehicle, right? Which is so incredibly hard to do. But when you're keeping up with those maintenance appointments, that's what's retaining the value of your vehicle. It's making sure that vehicle lasts past its financing contract, which is amazing when you can have a couple of years where you have no car payments. I live for those days. But, it's also really good for other people on the roads and yourself, because you're keeping yourself safe, you're keeping other people safe. But let's get into cosmetic damage, because that is, that's something that could send someone running for the hills, right?
Yeah.
So I have some cosmetic damage on this side of my vehicle here. I have a bit of a cracked bumper. And what I would say, a lot of people ask me this question: should I fix that damage before selling my vehicle? If you're selling your vehicle right now, the answer is no. Why put the money into it just to get that same money back and go through that headache, get a rental, all of that whole thing is no. So what I would say is, go to the body shop, get a number, and that's your number that you can play with. So when you have someone that says, ooh, that cracked bumper, got to take $2,000 to $3,000 off, that's, you're trying to play me, and that's not going to fly.
Got it. Okay, there's some haggling involved with this.
There's some haggling involved, yeah.
Any other ways we can be retaining value on our vehicle, aside from the maintenance appointments?
Absolutely. So changing the brakes is a big one, especially when you're doing that test drive. You have that buyer in that driver's seat. They're going to be like, oh, the brakes aren't great. What's the maintenance been like? So changing the brakes is a definite big one. I would say changing the battery if you've had your car for a very long time. Changing your transmission oil, your brake fluid, your coolant, all the fluids, you got to change that as well. But also maybe getting your spark plugs checked as well, especially if you have a heavy foot.
Okay, that's your takeaway. Fluid.
Yes.
Also
Hydrate.
Detailing.
Yes.
Photos.
Oh.
I'm a big believer in detailing, and so are you.
Oh, absolutely. I took my car in and got it detailed, and it was the best decision I ever made. A lot of people say, oh, maybe I'll just clean it myself, but there's two places that people often forget about. Right here, the engine bay.
This is beautiful.
Right?
Like, did you do this?
Absolutely not. I got it detailed, and it looks incredible. But when you're doing something like this yourself, you want to avoid, of course, the alternator, all of the sensors that we have in this vehicle, or you could just go to a detailer and they're going to take care of it for you. My car is brand new, and I know that we're showing the before and after right now. Please do not judge me. on the before, okay? I was preparing for this day. No. But yeah, I told them not to judge me as well. They're really awesome. And then when it comes to photos, you know that angles matter.
That's right.
Angles, angles, angles.
Yeah.
Get up high, get down low, and make sure that you're taking as many pictures as possible, even putting it into an editing program in order to boost the color a little bit, but don't boost it to the point where it's unrecognizable.
No, of
Yeah,
course.
don't do
You
that.
don't want to catfish your like potential buyer, right?
No.
These are good tips. You always come here with stuff I would have never thought about when it comes to
you.
cart. Thank you.
You're very